Hey guys, it's John from OGS. Happy Friday. I think we're up to the 6th lockdown. Oh my God. Thanks for the 500 subscribers. It's a small channel, it's intimate. We don't have aspirations of 1 million subscribers. We're mucking around with old Fords and all that kind of stuff like that. We're having an absolute ball. Today I thought we would go through how many cars do I actually own? A few people have asked me, you know, like, how many projects have you actually got? Well, today we're gonna find out. We've got the XE behind me. Hopefully tonight I'll be able to get it in primer. Come over this way. You can see my teppanyaki hot plate is nearly free of all the imperfections. I've got a little bit more to do, but what it's revealed is a few dings. So hopefully I'll be able to get a block of wood on the inner support, hit it out. We'll see about that, but we'll get some footage of that happening for you guys. So, project car number 1, XE Falcon. You guys have joined us right from the start of getting this bad boy running. And I'm really excited to get this thing back on the road. We've done all the roadworthy items. I just got to give the paint a freshen up, as you guys know. Let's go to the next one. Project number 2, VC Valiant. I've had this for a couple of years. I picked it up from a farm in New South Wales for very little money. Look, I had a bit of fun with it, but I never really knew what I was going to do, you know, with the actual car, whether it was going to turn into a drag car. Obviously, money's tight. What I have done is I had painted the roof. That was some time ago. I've got to finish off the floor. But look, honestly, I did lose a little bit of interest in this particular project because I felt like the amount of time taken to get this thing back on the road, I really wanted to sink my teeth into something that was a little bit more manageable as a project. Me being still relatively young, you know, I have made some mistakes with some of my car purchases. I'll be the first one to admit that. You'll see I've accumulated a fair bit of stuff. Something will happen with this thing. It's a matter of time. Perhaps you guys can comment down below and let me know exactly what I should be doing with this car, whether I should pull my finger out and actually get cracking with it. We do have a 318 V8 for it, which is on the engine test stand at the moment. So perhaps maybe this could be like an old school gasser, drag car, something to that effect. But let me know what you guys reckon. This is number 2. Originally where I lived, I had a big shed and I used to junk up that place. Something chronic, tell you what. But those days are long gone. I've basically sort of changed my life in that I don't have all of my car parts scattered around. It was a lot easier working from home sort of thing. Now usually when I'm working on cars, I'm staying back after work. We're quite busy, blah, blah, blah. So this is a car that I've been working on for some time. It's a 1949 Chev. I've never actually really featured it. You would have seen it in the background. I've never really featured the car, but what I have done, it's a little bit dusty at the moment. I've painted most of the parts. The paint work is Lollipop Blue Pearl. This is a car that I will finish. So there was a certain part of rust that I need to actually get done by a professional. It's above my pay grade, which I'll show you guys now. I did give it an attempt. It was absolutely woeful and above my skills. Maybe in the future I'll give it another go sort of thing. But I've got the engine built for this, which is a 283 Chev. It's got a HT front end. It's a 4-door style line, I'm pretty sure. And it's a really cool car, so it's definitely one that I want to complete. So I've done the floor pans. I've still got a little bit of sill work to do, which I can do myself. But yeah, there's a section which I'll show you, which is just probably a little bit too difficult for me. I don't mind showing you guys because, you know, hey, it's all a learning experience. It does look pretty manky at the moment, but I had to create this whole piece here. And what I had done is I'd bent that up and I'd cut it, you know, and I could have just kept on going with the grinder, but I stopped halfway through and I thought, this looks like absolute shit. So I'll show you down below. Like, that plate's okay. I could have filled in that piece there, but you know, you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them sort of thing. So again, like, I just didn't want to just bog it up and make it look like a piece of shit. I actually want to do it properly. So I've engaged a professional and it's going to go in for rust repairs later this year. So I'm excited about that. Project number 3. Moving on. All right. We've got the VG Hardtop. It's 1970 and this one was very difficult to get. I had to travel to Bega, New South Wales from Dandenong in one day to meet the seller who actually had sold it under me. But I twisted his arm a little bit and I had to go there to give him some cash. He was one of those kind of guys that he lived in a mysterious property. Once I got there, he was a ripping bloke. I've still got it. And what I've done is I refreshed a lot of the driveline. So everything's actually roadworthy with this car. I'm just sort of tossing up between actually getting it painted before I do the headliner and all that jazz, put the windows back in there. So I'm having a chat with my painter. I wouldn't tackle this project myself. It would take me a million years to do, and I'm not really a tradesperson. I have a passing interest that's quite strong, but this car is the one that I wanted to keep. It was either buying something like this or a HQ coupe, which I couldn't afford, so I opted for this. So yeah, I'm really excited to get this one on the road. She drives beautifully, everything's all good with it. It's more of a survivor car, but I've got to make the decision whether or not I'm actually going to paint it before I put all the windows and trim and everything back on. So that's where I'm at the moment. I'm probably going to focus on this after the XE. So that's car number 4. Got a Japanese car. One of the only sort of real Japanese cars that I like is an R32 Skyline. Again, it's one of those cars, the prices have really risen, but you're noticing a trend. A lot of my cars are on the cheaper end, read poor quality, and then we basically have to do all the work ourselves to get it, you know, going and looking good. So this is another one of those cars that I bought for relatively cheap. It's a little bit dusty. It's road registered. I do drive this car. At the moment, I'm enjoying driving the XD. So this thing's actually registered. I've refreshed the whole interior. It was misfiring, so new Spitfire coils, just miscellaneous stuff. But the reason why I've still got this car is it's got a stock engine, and I think that's pretty special because a lot of these cars have been mucked around with. So yeah, you know, it's a cool, fun little car to you know, drive around. It's got a turbo, it's manual. So I think that's car number 5. Back when I was 17, my favorite car was a Tarana. I actually really was interested in a VH Commodore with the chrome bumper, but I was able to convince my dad to allow me to buy an Alex Tarana. I was originally going to buy a project car, but I'm very thankful that he pushed me into one that was actually already registered. That car is currently in paint, which you may or may not know. If you've been following the channel, you know that's with my mate at the moment. He's been sending me updates of pictures and everything like that of the car being painted. It'll easily be the best car in my collection after that we're done with it. And I've kept it for now, what, like 13 years. So I'm over the moon that I've still got it. It was only a 5 or 6 grand car, but now the price has gone up. If I was to start all over again and get a Tarana in this day and age, I just probably wouldn't be able to afford it. So that's the one that's been with me forever. Yeah, you know, her nickname's Betty, Ugly Betty, because it had the brown stripes, but those are no longer. So that's the one that I'm going to keep in the garage and just hopefully have for the rest of my life. So that is car number 6. We talked about the T-bucket in a few previous episodes. This thing here is a real labour of love, and I couldn't do this car without my engineer that works at the main business. Basically, we've got a Ford Barra. It's one that we will complete. It's a matter of when, because we've got quite busy with our farming projects and obviously Oz General Store and everything like that. So I think personally that I have enough projects to basically last my whole lifetime. So I'm not really looking at collecting any more stuff. I've got what I've got, sort of thing. Bought it at cheaper prices. And well, that's the thing with project cars. You can buy them and can find them for a relatively low cost. Hey, remember this nugget? I thought everybody would be interested in an auto salon throwback, but I guess, you know, not that popular. But hey, after the XE is finished, I'll probably, before the Valiant, I probably will do a 24-hour challenge just to respray this thing. We've got some silver paint with some flake that we can use. It's a Honda Integra, I think it's a 1989 model. I can't even remember, sort of thing. And this is my daily driver, as you guys know, possibly the most famous vehicle on the channel, sort of thing. It's my daily driven XD. Looking dirty, still got the convos on the back, stockies on the front. This thing's going in on Monday to my mechanic. We're going to lift it up and have a look at the suspension, figure out what we need to do to change it over to a new engine. I'm not going to reveal what that is just yet, but we want to just tidy up a few more things and get it all ready for the conversion. But I have a lot of fun driving this car. I drive it every day. It is my daily driver. Oftentimes I'll rock up to people's houses when I'm buying car parts and they go, what, you drive this thing every day? Why don't you put it on club reg? The truth is I'm not really a club guy. With what little time I have, I prefer to spend that with my lovely wife, you know, and just hang out. So yeah, look, the XD, you know, it's a phenomenal car. I have a lot of fun driving it. I think what it does for me is it reminds me of how I used to drive the Tarana, because it was daily driven as well, my first car. But obviously the prices have increased for Taranas, but for the XDs, while they do fetch, you know, 20 or 30 grand for fully worked ones like this don't cost a lot of money, and that's why I really enjoy it, because I don't worry too much about parking it wherever. And I think people actually get a kick of seeing a car like this driven around on the daily. You know, the thing with cars is that you can spend an awful lot of money on them, and hats off if you've got the means to do that. Basically, how I've accumulated all this stuff is that I've caught the car sickness, and I've started to accumulate different things. Like I said before, I've got enough projects to last my lifetime, and I want to try to do as much work as possible myself, sort of thing. I always thought about getting a fancy car and taking out a loan for it. But as I grow older and I see all these young guys with hot cars, I don't get impressed. I just wonder how big their loan is. So if you like to have fun like me, maybe don't get as many cars as I have, but definitely in the X Series community, absolutely mint. I call it like my second family, because the guys there are so friendly, especially on Facebook groups and everything like that. So they've helped me immensely. Every time I go to visit one of these guys to pick up some parts, you know, we have a chat and everything like that. So it's been really good. And you know what? It's not going to cost the earth. I do have one more car, which makes it the 11th. It's a secret. It's another X Series car. It's a little bit of an early girl. So I'm not going to reveal that one just yet, because that's going to be down the track. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I appreciate it. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Feel free to give me a buzz or whatever. You know, you can find out details through Oz General Store. I'm here every day working away. And then when I've finished all my work, I muck around with this sort of stuff. Thanks a lot.